officially I have it all written out, my first course for Insight Timer. So that is all written. I just have to record the audio parts of it, which shouldn't take me too long. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. There's 2 courses that I have. There's one that's fully written, one that's almost done. So I hope you all find that stuff helpful. Yes, one is about poop. I was going to make the first one about poop, but then I realized that I want to do a lot of visualization stuff for that course. So the first one is going to be unlocking visualization, because a lot of people come to me and say, like, I just can't see anything. And I totally get that, because I felt that way for a long time. So that's the first one's unlocking visualization. And then the next one that will come out shortly after will be emotionally coping with IBD. So yeah, poop. And yeah, visualizing is difficult for me as well. That's why a lot of times the words I use in my meditations are more like anatomy based and like just imagine or become curious of what it would look like if you could see this thing, because that's what unlocks it for me, is just not trying to see something specific, but just being curious and staying in that receptive state of like, what am I seeing? Like, what are my eyes actually taking in right now? So yeah, that's what that course will hopefully walk you through more directly. Okay, that's enough to say before we get started. So you can listen to this practice wherever it is that you find yourself today. You can be sitting down, you can be laying down, or you can even be stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully, wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way, shape, or form. So if you would prefer to listen to this practice while being in a still position, you can just let now be the time where you let yourself fidget, adjust, stretch, or move your body in whatever ways your body wants to move. As you really do your best to not think about these movements at all or worry about what anything looks like, but coming more fully into your sense of feeling as you follow those yummy sensations that you might feel when you roll out the neck, the shoulders, the hands, the wrists, maybe some cat-cow motions with the spine, or torso twists, or just any movements that feel good in your body. And trusting your own instincts when it comes to movement, and allowing your body to move you in the ways that intuitively feel good in your bones, muscles, and joints. And if what feels best in your body at any time is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. While also knowing that there is no rush whatsoever, and you can continue to move throughout this practice whenever you have the need to. But at any point, if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way to a still position with the spine nice and straight. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow your eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you take a moment now to mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full and intentional cleansing breath, calling in fresh new air into the body, watching as you fill up to every corner and edge of you, getting as full as you can, as you hold that for a moment when you are full, to experience what that feels like to be full of air right now, as you slowly let all of that go, as you need to, exhaling it out bit by bit. As you gently pull the navel in toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push any last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment here to now stay and experience the sense of emptiness in the body, allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And just know that there is no need to worry about the actual length of these inhales and your exhales and those pauses on either side. But we're just allowing each of the 4 parts of your breath to be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So when the body would naturally feel full and stop inhaling, just seeing, becoming curious if you can take in one more sip of air, expand your lower belly a little bit more, or the back of your rib cage a little bit more, to take in one more sip of air. And then once you would naturally roll over to your exhale, just seeing if you can hold off on that for one extra moment and experience that sense of fullness in the body with a bit more intention than you might normally. And then as you exhale, even once you think you're empty, just seeing if you can push out one more bit of air and stay in that quiet, empty space for a moment longer than you would normally. Allowing the next breath to come in as it's needed. And you can continue to breathe in this slow, intentional, exaggerated way for as long as it feels good and helpful to you. But at any point, if you haven't already, then you may release this guidance over your breath altogether and allow yourself to become the observer, to step into the role of the witness. As you shift into that perspective where you are no longer the one guiding or controlling the rhythm or depth of your own breath, but you are simply watching as your own body breathes you. Remembering how our bodies do breathe all on their own, even when we're in our deepest state of sleep. And so becoming curious if even just for a moment you can witness your body breathing without having any influence over the breath itself, but watching this natural rhythm of your own breath, the same way that you would watch any other natural process or force of nature. Not trying to change anything about what it is you are witnessing, but simply witnessing. Maybe bringing to mind a time when you have laid on the beach and just watch the waves as they roll up along the shoreline. Watching each wave as it comes and goes. Never trying to change anything about the size or speed of these waves, but simply watching. And noticing any expression that you feel resting on the face right now. Noticing what your resting facial expression might communicate. Maybe the brow is furrowed, or the jaw could be tense. The nostrils might be flared, or the chin or even the ears could hold some lingering tension. And just allow your awareness of any of these areas of holding and resisting and tension, allowing your awareness of these areas to be all that you need to instead allow these areas to soften and release. To allow all the muscles of your face to ungrip from the bones. Letting the muscles in your face simply release into the support of your own skin. As you remember this innate safety that comes included in your own anatomy, and the constant hug of your own skin, holding everything in place and exactly where it needs to be. And release yourself into that safety. As you maybe bring to mind a time when you have exhaled into a hug with someone who you love dearly. Maybe a person or maybe an animal. But just that moment when you exhale and you no longer resist any love, but you allow yourself to absorb it, to be safe, to be held, to be protected and deeply loved. As you awaken that same sense with the constant hug of your own skin and of gravity all around you. Knowing you are constantly being held up by the earth and being hugged close to that earth by the force of gravity. And so exhaling into that hug. As you allow yourself to be held and to be safe. knowing that on a deep and ultimate level, all of us are deeply safe. We are innately connected to the source that all energy comes from. And so the core of who we are will always be safe. Since energy cannot be created or destroyed, the core of all of us will always be here, safe and loved. And perhaps there are other feelings that bubble up at the same time, or maybe louder feelings. Maybe some actual things in your life right now that make you feel unsafe or unloved. And not ignoring any of those factors of reality, but allowing them to exist here as well. Since this healing practice, or any healing practice, is not about completely erasing all of the negative things in our life, or completely ignoring all of the things we want to change about ourselves or about the world or our life. But it is about showing up for yourself in this world honestly. And the honest reality will always contain a unique mixture of wonderful things and horrible things, and all things in between. And so if there are any seeds being planted within you, any seeds of change that need to happen, or any factors of your life that you would like to change, you can allow those seeds to simply be planted within you. You can acknowledge these things, which is what plants the seed within you, simply by acknowledging the factors of yourself or your life that you would like to change. That act of acknowledgement in and of itself is what plants that seed for future change. And just know that you do not have to, nor should you, change everything at once. Sometimes we can get overwhelmed with the amount that we want to change about the world and ourselves. And so we choose to do nothing instead. But if we can just look at one small thing at a time, one small habit, one thought that you habitually return to, just one activity throughout your day, big changes happen in our life with the combination or the culmination of small daily changes. Maybe small weekly or monthly changes. Just be so kind and patient with yourself wherever you are throughout the many different processes of change that you are moving through. So you can continue to feel all that is here for you to feel. Continue to soften your body into all it is that you are feeling as you listen to the following words that are written by Octavia Raheem in her book, Pause, Rest, Be. Stillness Practices for Courage in Times of Change. And you can just allow anything that feels like it resonates with you to soak in deeper and not worrying about the rest. This is preparing you for what you asked for. Walking the road to your dream prepares you to arrive at it, to live it, to love it, to know how to greet it, and to thrive within it. Right now, the only light coming through is that of an intense fire, the fire of your rage. You do not have to simmer down, but do not burn yourself either. Peer into the fire. What fuels it? And how can the light of it serve you in this dark place? When you examine your darkness, you see how much light is hidden behind it. You can't walk around it, only through. Going through creates friction. That friction rubs you until there is a whisper of shine. Avoiding your darkness dulls your light and silences the hum of your glow. As you journey through, hum. Hum yourself a lullaby. Hum a prayer. Hum sounds of hope, love, despair, longing, and thanksgiving. Hum softly or loudly. Hum to remind yourself of the still, small light within. Even if the world as you knew it was not the world you wanted it to be, you are allowed to mourn the death of it. You may have yearned for this divorce from that reality and still weep now as you stand at the grave of your marriage. Perhaps the life you were living wasn't the life you are worthy of and desired. You are allowed to grieve it as it disappears and becomes invisible. This is a threshold. If you do not walk through the valley, you do not cultivate the capacity to make it to the peak. As you learn to be with your grief, you expand your capacity to be in your joy. If you cannot face your grief, you limit your access to joy, since grief and joy are sacred twins. You can just take these next few moments to re-soften your body if any tension has crept back into any muscles. as you remind yourself once again that it is safe for you to be soft. And you can allow every single word that you have heard today and every single feeling that you have felt today to now settle within you. Imagining that every word and feeling is a little speck of glitter within this big snow globe of your own body. And so now is the time where we set the body down. Allow all the glitter to settle to the bottom and let the air clear. And just remembering that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you or struck a chord with you in some way, just trusting that that feeling can sometimes come when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. And so simply allowing these deep truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition and to trust your own instincts. And if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can now let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel this contact of your palms and fingers to one another, and you let your heart lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. And you feel all of this power that is generated through you, through your own heartbeat. And calling in one final deep and full breath of air into the body, filling up the most you have today. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. And may this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may it bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you, thank you, thank you.